Welcome to Chart of the Day. I'm Robert Folsom. Twin deficits. Are they bad for the buck? Perhaps you've caught some of these recent headlines about the so-called twin deficits and about what those deficits will do to the US dollar, or so the argument goes. In case you're new to the twin deficits, Twin Deficit 1 is the current account, which includes the US balance of trade and money flows. Twin Deficit 2 is the federal budget, which because of the recent fiscal policy change, aka the tax cuts, it now includes very large projected budget deficits. So, on to the claim that twin deficits weaken the dollar. Is that just conventional analysts flocking like birds to the same wire of economic opinion? Or is there something to it? Here I'll state the obvious and say that the data for deficits and for the dollar's weakness or strength is readily available. We can see it for ourselves. This red trend line combines the current account and the federal budget as a percentage of GDP across a long-term timeline that dates from the mid-1970s. Note that the top of the graph is basically the zero line for the percentage of GDP. And yes, the combined federal budget and current account show a chronic 40-plus year deficit. The 2007 through 2009 financial crisis saw that deficit exceed 12% of GDP. So that's the twin deficit trend line. Now the trend line for the US dollar broad trade weighted index. It shows the dollar's value against a large basket of global currencies. As you look at these trend lines, if it seems like they kinda sometimes move together but sometimes they don't, you're warned. We can measure the correlation, such as it is, via the graph in this lower panel, specifically the rolling 12-quarter correlation between deficit trend and the dollar trend. Green is when the twin deficits and the dollar trend move in the same direction. Red is when they move in opposite directions. And put simply, there's no relationship. The correlations are random overlap. It doesn't support the notion of twin deficits making the dollar weaker. So, if you find yourself in a conversation with someone about the dollar and the twin deficit, you can describe the facts. Better still, direct them to EWI's Global Market Perspective, where charts like this one from Murray Gunn keep us on the correct dollar track no matter what the twin deficit does.